We'll fight with all our might, for this is the day we all say Somerville leads the way.
Hi, it's nice to be back with another session of Wicked Smaht. As usual, we start with the star of our show, Liz Rourke.
Tonight's contestants are returning champion Chris DeVita, Dan Ring, and Charlie Houghton.
We'll start with Charlie. Get my signal straight. We'll ask you a question. If you get it right, you can try for a second. If you get it wrong, the next in line can steal that question before beginning his turn. We'll go for 10 minutes, we'll take a break, and then we reverse the order for round 2. At the end of round 2, whoever is in last place will step away, and the remaining 2 will be on an equal footing for the speed round. Let's begin. Liz?
We're actually going to start with Chris, and his first question will come from the category of City Info.
City Info for Chris. Questions about government and city services, Chris. And the first one for 1 point. Who was the first woman named as a Somerville police officer? Who was the first woman named as a Somerville police officer?
I do not know.
Don't know.
Dan, you have a chance to steal.
I have no idea.
No idea. Oh, that dies there. It's the recently retired Lieutenant Patricia Silvera. Patricia Silvera, just recently retired.
The next question comes from the same category of City Info, and it is for Dan.
Back to City Info for the second question. Dan, for 1 point, who is the current chairman of Somerville's Zoning Board of Appeals? Current chairman of Somerville's Zoning Board of Appeals.
I don't know.
Charlie?
Charlie, want to try that?
Kenny Joyce?
No. Phil Ercolini. Phil Ercolini.
Charlie's question will come from the category of People and Personalities.
Charlie, people and personalities. Questions about Somerville people or famous people with a Somerville connection, Charlie. For 1 point. S. Lester Ralph was the mayor of Somerville from 1970 to 1978. What does the S stand for in S. Lester Ralph?
Samuel? Samuel?
Samuel is correct.
Charlie's next question will come from the category of Go to Video.
Go to video. Call your attention to the video, and once we see it, I'll have a question for you on it. For 1 point, it's a picture from the 1959 Somerville High yearbook. This man listed his future occupation as dentist, but he went into politics. Who is he? 1959 Somerville High yearbook, listed his future occupation as dentist, went into politics. Who is he?
I don't know.
Chris?
Charlie Shannon?
No, it's not Charlie Shannon. It's Vinnie Pirro.
Oh.
Vinnie Pirro.
Chris's question will come from the category of Street Smarts.
Street smarts for Chris. For 1 point, what's the only street in Somerville with 3 zip codes? What's the only street in Somerville with 3 zip codes?
Lowell Street.
Lowell Street is correct. Lowell Street is correct.
Chris's next question will come from the same category of Street Smarts.
Back to street smarts. For 1 point, what comes next in this list of parallel streets running from Medford Street to Vernon Street? What comes next in this list of parallel streets running from Medford Street to Vernon Street? Trull, Partridge, Glenwood. Trull, Partridge, Glenwood, running from Medford to Vernon.
Bartlett. Bartlett.
Bartlett Street is correct. Chris has been doing a lot of homework.
Dan's question will come from the category of what used to be where.
What used to be where? First question from that category, and it tests your knowledge of Somerville's ever-changing landscape. For 1 point, the Somerville District Court is now located in Assembly Square. It used to be on this street and is now used as the headquarters for Somerville Recreation. Somerville District Court is now located near Assembly Square. It used to be on what street and currently is used as headquarters for Somerville Recreation?
Highland Ave.
Not correct.
Charlie?
Walnut Street.
Walnut Street is correct.
Charlie's question will come from the category of go to video.
Go to video. Back to video. Call your attention to the monitor. You recognize these two gentlemen. They're not from Somerville. But you get 1 point if you can tell us Barry and Elliot's last name.
Jordan.
They're not from Somerville, but you get 1 point if you can tell us Barry and Elliot's last name.
Jordan.
Jordan is not correct. That's their company. Their
Chris?
name is...
Oh,
Name is?
I don't know.
Tittlebaum. Tittlebaum.
Chris's question will come from the same category of go to video.
Back to video. Getting a run on this. And once again, call your attention to the monitor. This cute kid later served as Ward 7 Alderman. Ward 7 Alderman right after Kathy O'Day. This cute kid later served as Ward 7 Alderman right after Kathy O'Day.
I can't remember.
Can't tell from the picture. Can't tell from the history.
I've no
Time's
idea.
up. Jimmy Halloran. Jimmy Halloran. Didn't look much like the Jimmy Halloran we know, right?
No.
Dan's question will come from the category of what used to be where.
Okay, for Dan. What used to be where? Testing your knowledge of Somerville and its ever-changing landscape. For 1 point, the caning shop in Davis Square, across from Carberry's, used to be an auto parts store. The caning shop in Davis Square, across from Carberry's, used to be an auto parts store. What was the name of that store?
Mako.
No.
Charlie?
Charlie?
Was it Goff's?
Goff's is correct. Goff's is correct.
Charlie's question comes from the category of city info.
City info. Questions about government, city services. 1 point. What body decides if you get an abatement on your property tax bill? What body in government decides if you can get an abatement on your property tax bill? Time.
Chris?
The assessing department?
The Board of Assessors.
Board of Assessors.
Board of Assessors.
Judge, do we take that?
Yes.
Okay.
That's okay?
Chris's question will come from the category of go to video.
Back to video. Popular category tonight. 3 points. We flew it first in Somerville, but this one's different than the current American flag. What's the name of this flag? We flew it first in Somerville. This one's a little different from the current American flag. What's the name of this flag?
The don't. No, it's not the "Don't Tread on Me" flag. Is it? It's,
No, not the Don't Tread on Me.
Dan?
That has a snake. Name of the flag that was raised here in Somerville first.
Name of the flag that was raised. I don't know.
The answer is Great Union or Grand Union flag. Sometimes misappropriately called the Cambridge flag, but we won't let them get away with that anymore.
Dan's question will come from the category of what used to be where.
What used to be where? Again, Somerville's ever-changing landscape. 1 point. Your choices now are RCN and Comcast, but there was only one cable company in Somerville when it all started. What was the name of the first company to offer cable television in Somerville? What was the name of the first company to offer cable service in Somerville? Cable television service.
Continental Cablevision.
Not correct.
Charlie.
Warner?
Warner Cable is correct.
Charlie's question will come from the category of people and personalities.
People and personalities for Charlie. Here we go. Questions about Somerville people or famous people with a Somerville connection. 3 brothers from the Perry family helped bring Somerville High School to basketball fame and glory. Which of the 3 went on to become the athletic director at Holy Cross College?
Ronnie?
Ronnie Perry is correct. Didn't even have to repeat that. Time already.
That's the end of this round. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we will reverse the order.
Break time. Liz, before we resume, would you introduce our guests?
We're going to have our guests tell a little about themselves. So, Chris, why don't you start?
Sure. My name is Chris DeVita. I grew up in Ward 7. Went to Somerville High, where Mr. Fedele was, I believe at the time, the vice headmaster. I've lived in the city pretty much my whole life, and actually back in Ward 7 living again.
Dan?
I'm Dan Ring. I've lived in Somerville for about 7 years. I grew up on the mean streets of Massachusetts South Shore, and I'm just glad to be here.
Nice to have you.
Charlie?
I'm Charlie Houghton, and I grew up in Ward 3, and I still live there. And I'm a firefighter in Somerville.
Okay.
Okay.
Liz?
We will begin this round with Charlie. And his question will come from the category of get out of town.
Get out of town. Get out of town. Questions about life outside of Somerville. Life outside of Somerville, and it's the first such question we've had tonight. For 1 point, you could get a Ginsburger at the Adventure Car Hop on Route 1 in Saugus in the late 50s. A Ginsburger Car Hop, Route 1 in Saugus. You could get a second one free if you told them the name of the legendary disc jockey that sent you. I need the first, last, and nicknames of the disc jockey.
I don't know.
Not old enough, huh?
Nope.
Chris?
Chris, the...
Oh, I'm sorry,
Is it
Dan.
Dan?
Dan has a
Dan,
chance to
okay.
steal.
Dan, this is a famous Ginsburger to us older folk. You'd go to the
Ginsburg.
Adventure Car Hop on Route 1 in Saugus, favorite Somerville date at the time. In the late 50s, you could get a second Ginsburger free if you told them who sent you. Famous disc jockey. Need first, last, and nickname.
In the late 50s.
Yep.
I don't know.
See, us old folk would know that. Arnie Woo Woo Ginsburger. Arnie Woo Woo, you, I'm sure have heard of. Legendary disc jockey.
Dan's question will come from the same category of get out of town.
Get out of town. Must stay there. From the car hop, we go to. Oh, Anthony ran through the streets of the North End for what product? Anthony ran through the streets of the North End for what product?
Prince Spaghetti.
Prince Spaghetti, and haunted all of us Anthony's afternoons. Had to go to the North End to get that point, huh?
His next question will come from the category of city info.
City info. We go to city info, questions about government and city services. For 3 points, what's the fine for parking on the wrong side of the street during a declared snow emergency? What do you pay? A fine for parking on the wrong side of the street during a declared snow emergency.
$50?
$50 is correct.
All right.
Don't have to go back to the 50s to figure that one out, do you?
Chris's question will come from the category of people and personalities.
People and personalities. Chris, let's see what we have for you. Who headed the Somerville Housing Authority before Joe Macaluso? Joe Macaluso is the current head of the Somerville Housing Authority. Who did he succeed?
Bill Casamento?
Bill Casamento is correct.
Chris's next question will come from the category of get out of town.
Get out of town. Out of town again. Okay, this time. He made headlines recently because he got into a shoving match with Governor Romney's spokesperson. He's also the Commonwealth's longest-serving mayor. This man made headlines recently because he got into a shoving match with Governor Romney's spokesperson. He's also the Commonwealth's longest-serving mayor.
Mayor Rogers?
Not correct.
Charlie?
No.
Okay, it's Mayor John Barrett of North Adams. Mayor John Barrett III of North Adams. Get it all to you.
Charlie's question will come from the category of go to video.
Go to video. Once again, call your attention to the monitor. I have a question for you. Okay. This is footage from a 1994 Board of Aldermen meeting. Who is this?
Kenny Joyce.
Former Ward 2 Alderman Kenny Joyce. That's correct.
Charlie's next question will come from the category of city info.
City info for Charlie. Next question. For 1 point, the Somerville School Committee meets twice a month. Always on what day of the week? The Somerville School Committee meets twice a month. Always on what day of the week?
Monday.
Monday is correct, Charlie.
Dan's question comes from the category of city info.
Back to city info. For 1 point, who is the longest-serving member of Somerville School Committee? Who is the longest-serving member of Somerville's School Committee?
Dunno.
Don't know.
Chris?
Currently?
The longest-serving member.
That's current?
Current.
Is it currently?
Now
Okay.
serving on the board. Who's had the longest tenure?
Mary Jo Rossetti?
Nope, that's not correct. Want to try it? Who?
That's just the answer.
That's the answer.
What's the answer?
Oh, I'm sorry. Teresa Cardozo.
Yeah.
Teresa Cardozo. We're probably going on to that.
Chris's
Thank you.
question will come from the category of get out of town.
Chris is getting out of town. Okay. This time, not North Adams, but let's see. For 3 points, community auditions hosted by Dave Maynard on WBZ TV, was the longest running show of its kind in the nation. For 3 points, sing the closing song. 3 points, community auditions hosted by Dave Maynard on WBZ TV was the longest running show of its kind in the nation. For 3 points, sing the closing song. You know, I didn't come up with that.
We have to get Bill another hobby.
Get Bill another hobby.
I really don't know.
Do you know the lyric at all?
I
No?
would if I heard it. I don't remember.
All right. Charlie?
No.
Don't know it. Star of the day, who will it be? I'm not going to sing it either. Your vote may hold the key. It's up to you. Tell us who will be the star of the day. Star of the day, who may it be?
Charlie's question will come from the category of go to video.
Go to video. I think we're pretty much out of those, aren't we? Do we have another video question? Yeah, we do. For 1 point, name this now retired general. Somerville native. Retired general. Somerville native. Can't see it from here.
Kelly?
Not correct.
Dan?
Want to try it?
I don't know.
Don't know. General John Sheehan. General John Sheehan. Could you see the name from there? We couldn't see it from here, so okay. It was fair. Apparently his name tag was showing. I could tell by the audience's reaction. But I couldn't see it.
Dan's question will come from the category of people and personalities.
People and personalities. Questions about Somerville people or famous people with a Somerville connection. 3 points. Charles Henry Revson was born in Somerville in 1906. He was raised in Manchester, New Hampshire. He and his brother grew up to build a company that had over $1 billion in sales last year alone. But it's very unlikely Charles ever used his own products. What's the company? Charles Henry Revson was born in Somerville in 1906, raised in Manchester, New Hampshire. He and his brother grew up to build a company that had over $1 billion in sales last year alone.
Was it Revlon?
Revlon is correct. Revlon Cosmetics. Good for you.
Dan's next question will come from the category of street smarts.
Street smarts. And the question is 1 point. Allen Street, Linden Street, and Merriam Street all stretch from Somerville Avenue to what street?
Summer Street?
Allen Street, Linden Street, Merriam Street all stretch from Somerville Avenue to what street?
Summer Street?
Summer Street is not correct.
Chris?
Charlestown Street?
Charlestown Street. You had to be born on Merriam Street to know that one, I'll tell you. Charlestown Street.
Chris's question comes from the category of what used to be where.
What used to be where? Testing your knowledge of Somerville's ever-changing landscape. 3 points. A stroll down Cedar Street in the 1970s would give you 2 choices for ice cream. One was at the site that is now the Royal White Dry Cleaners, the other at the bank on the corner of Cedar and Highland. For 3 points, name both ice cream stores.
The Dairy Queen and the Friendly's ice cream.
Dairy Queen and Friendly's, very good. Now you must have lived on Cedar Street too, right?
I just remember.
At least we know where you got your ice cream. Dairy Queen and Friendly's.
His next question will come from the category of get out of town.
Get out of town. Put that aside. Almost dropped it. 1 point. Who does Quincy High School's football team play? Who does Quincy High School's football team play on Thanksgiving Day? Who does Quincy High School's football team play against on Thanksgiving Day?
Everett?
No, not as hard as it may seem.
Charlie?
North Quincy?
North Quincy. Quincy versus North Quincy. We weren't being that tricky that time.
Charlie's question comes from the same category of get out of town.
Charlie, get out of town. Stay right there then. For 1 point, Jordan's Furniture, no longer confused with Jordan Marsh, where was the first store? Jordan's Furniture. Out of town now. Where was the first store? Jordan's Furniture. What town?
Quincy?
Nope.
Dan?
Waltham?
Waltham is correct. Waltham is correct. You're scoring on the out-of-town questions.
I'm feeling good.
Hey, Coach.
Dan's next question comes from the category of what used to be where.
What used to be where? Okay, we've run out of ice cream places. Let's check the next one. Casey's Pub in East Somerville was previously operated under what name? Casey's Pub in East Somerville was previously operated under what name? Popular pub in East Somerville. Nope.
No.
Ice cream, yes. Pubs, no.
Chris?
Chris?
Broadway Cafe?
Nope. Moriarty's. Moriarty's. When you hear it, it's familiar, huh?
Chris's question comes from the category of people and personalities.
People and personalities for Chris. 1 point. Each year, the local newspaper prints the top earners on the city payroll. not including overtime and police details, who has the highest base salary on the public payroll? Each year, the local newspaper prints the top earners on the city payroll, not including overtime and police details. Who has the highest base salary on the public payroll?
Superintendent Argenziano.
School Superintendent Al Argenziano is correct.
That's the
Time.
end of our game, so if we could
Goodness.
see the scores. We have to take a break because we have an unusual tie for second place. So when we come back, we will know who will play in the speed round.
My goodness.
Liz, would you explain how we're going to break this tie?
Well, in the unusual case of having two people tie, when we usually just go straight to the speed round of the top two players, we are going to have the two players that tied play the speed round, and then the winner out of the speed round will play Chris for our tiebreaker that we have, where one of the members will have to step outside the room while the other one answers the questions. So let's begin the speed round. Dan, would you like 02145 or 02143?
02143.
Okay, and Charlie, you get 02145.
02143. You start with
Dan.
Dan. 02143. And the winner is. Now I know what it feels like, huh? Speed round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. Who preceded Bill Roach as the alderman from Ward 1? Who preceded Bill Roach as the alderman from Ward 1?
Donna.
I give the answer, do I not at this point? Richard Johnson, because nobody else gets a chance at it. A Chinese restaurant formerly in Ball Square, the location of which is now a coffee shop. Popular Chinese restaurant, long time in Ball Square. Location is now a coffee shop.
Golden House.
Nope. Good try. Oboes. Oboes. What's the formal name of the East Branch of the Somerville Public Library? The formal name of the East Branch of the Somerville Public Library.
I don't know.
It's over the door. Gold Star Memorial. Gold Star Memorial. Mama Gina's, Mama Leone's, or Mama Lisa's? Which of these names is not correct when discussing Somerville pizzerias? Which of these names is not correct when discussing Somerville pizzerias? Mama Gina's, Mama Leone's, or Mama Lisa's?
Mama Lisa's.
No, there is no Mama Leone's. Our Leone is simply Leone's, but we do have a Mama Lisa and a Mama Gina. Who was the first winner of Wicked Smaht and the only two-time winner? Who was the winner of Wicked Smaht and the only two-time winner?
Chris.
No.
No. Good try. Willie Medeiros.
Okay.
Willie Medeiros. Okay. Got how many of those?
I guess I got none.
None of those.
Zero.
Okay. Well, Charlie, let's see how fast you can get.
Good luck.
At least one here. Break this tie. Okay. Dunkin' Donuts, here we go. Dunkin' Donuts on McGrath and Broadway was once the site of this national hamburger chain. They're still running, but nowhere close to here anymore. Dunkin' Donuts on McGrath and Broadway was once the site of a national hamburger chain. They're still running, but nowhere close to here anymore.
White Top?
No, White Castle.
White Castle?
Close, White Castle. How many Somerville High School alumni are in the Basketball Hall of Fame? How many Somerville High School alumni are in the National Basketball Hall of Fame?
2?
No, none. None in the National Basketball Hall of Fame. What's the name of the park behind the Davis Square Tea Station on the Holland Street side? What's the name of the park behind the Davis Square Tea Station on the Holland Street side?
7 Hills?
7 Hills Park is correct. Name the tiny street running from Victoria past Waterhouse, ending on Alewife Brook Parkway, where there's a park of the same name.
Woodbine?
What's your final answer? Is that your final answer?
Yeah. No, Woodstock.
Woodstock is correct. Name the only Somervilleite ever to be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. Only one.